Welcome to the podcast. Stop Crying Poser, greatest podcast known to man as voted by the hawk, the wolf, the rabbit, the rat, the pig, the frog, and the dirty Sanchez. Who do we have here in the chat today? We have iBook Boy, the real Griff, Day, Ron, stop it, Keith, Skates, Fletcher, hates, Skate, iBook Boy, Keith, Cam, 702, Day, Griff, support, the farts, Fletcher, D, Trick, iBook Boy. I'm sure I said a lot of your names more than once. Welcome once again to this podcast. We do this every single Friday, right around 3:30 p.m. Pacific time, right here on twitch.tv/Ninja Lifestyle. I recently described this podcast as the longest running failure on my channel. And I feel like that is still true. But you know what? We're going to keep going because I don't have any other cool ideas planned for Friday videos. It's been a quiet week, but last weekend, a lot of things happened. I imagine we'll probably get 30 minutes out of this podcast. So let's begin with our first topic. Some of us have really terrible friends. You know the ones. Let's just make up a pretend situation, right? Where you're just sitting in your house, enjoying, I don't know, a sporting event with your buddies, and one of your friends just sits on the couch and watches the sporting event, and the other friend brings beer over and says, hey, let's have a beer together. And you go, oh, that would be fun. And then there's three of you now, and you're all watching sports and eating food. And then the one guy comes over, and instead of watching the sports and eating the food, he just starts grabbing shit that doesn't belong to him. Like, I don't know, an item such as a yo-yo. And he says, I have a yo-yo just like this in my backpack. And then you say, oh, you have a yo-yo and I have a yo-yo. Two things in common. So you brought your own? So you brought your own yo-yo to my house, you say. He said, yeah, but I'm going to play with yours. I said, wait a minute. Don't mess with my yo-yo. Mine is metal and heavy. I have a big metal heavy yo-yo, and you don't know shit about yo-yoing. You have a yo-yo. You have one. You brought one. Your small plastic one that could not break anything in my house. Why not play with that one? Better yet, why not play with any yo-yos? Why not play with those outside of my house? And he goes, no. And then he throws the yo-yo down, breaks my yo-yo. My yo-yo breaks into 4 different pieces. One piece flies toward the glass. And then he looks at me and he goes, how was I supposed to know that could happen? And I say, first off, no one knows the future, okay? But I do know that doesn't belong to you. I don't know the future of what's going to happen to this yo-yo, but I know it's not supposed to be in your hands right now. That's what I know. I can't change the durability of that yo-yo, but I guess I have to start locking that shit in the safe now. And you know, you think to yourself, well, Steve, all you had to do was ask him not to play with the yo-yo. Oh, that's all I had to do? So when I was like, hey, Tex, stop messing with my yo-yo. And he goes, no. And then breaks it. What do I do then? And then, of course, he goes, I'll fix it. No one's fixing it. It's broken. Some pieces flew all over the room. We'll never find those pieces ever again. And you know what? Tex still has a yo-yo to play with. Why? Because he brought his yo-yo. He put his yo-yo in his backpack and brought it to my house so that it could stay in the backpack and mine could break. So basically, it's the story of me being dumb. You know, it's not about anyone else. It's not about anyone else touching things that don't belong to them, that are on my rack that no one should touch. It's not about that. It's about me being too dumb to leave that shit out. And Tex is he's the victim now. He's the victim of this, but it's happened to everyone. People come to my house, they look at it's like, I would hate to work in a library. I don't know if people do this. I certainly have never done this. But between him and Nick, they come to my house, they look at shit, they're like, oh, what's this? What's this? What's this? They grab it, and then they walk 10 steps and they put it down somewhere else. And they'll do that with multiple items: flashlights, knives, pens, pencils, Sharpies, scissors, anything that I need to use on a daily basis. My car keys, they pick it up from one place and they go, oh, look at this, la 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 la, and they put it down somewhere else. And I go, they all leave, and I go, where the fuck is all my items that I just had? And then I notice them doing it. I'll be in the kitchen, like cooking or something. I'll look over and I just see people going, look at this. Oh, move it over here. Oh, grab this, put it over here. Take this, put it over here. Oh, a phone charger? Let me take that to the bathroom and plug in my phone charger in the bathroom and then forget about it. Like, the phone chargers are in every room in this house now. Why? First off, have you ever had a phone charger that's already plugged in? It's already in the outlet. All you have to do is connect your phone. Not my friends. They will grab it, disassemble it. They'll take the square out. It'll be 3 squares and 3 wires. All right. One is like a mini USB for like charging up the vape. One is an Android charger and one is an iPhone charger. And they're all plugged in perfectly, ready to go. All you do, you just grab one, plug it in. Not my friends. First thing they do, they take all 3, they rip them out. Then they take the square away from the wire. They rip those apart. Then they start switching squares with wires for fun. Oh, try this over here. Put this over here. Move this over here. And they go, this is too boring. Then they start walking into the kitchen, plugging in different outlets for some fucking reason. Going to the bathroom, plug in your phone in the bathroom. I don't understand why anyone would do that. Then they come in, they find little trinkets of shit. Oh, look at this. Some little Mario memorabilia. Let me move it from here to here. Oh, scissors. You're going to need this one day. Let's make sure to put that under some blanket or something. And then when they're done moving all my chargers around, they look for something fun to break. So very, very common situation. A little bit annoying, but no big deal. I went on Amazon. I bought a new replacement yo-yo part. An 8mm magic yo-yo axle. Went and bought a new axle for $6 now. So it's my fault. It's my fault when I said, hey, why are you playing with that? Stop playing with that. I should have just pulled out $6 out of my wallet and ripped it up. That's what I should have done. Moving on. Speaking of my friends, you guys know I'm in my late 30s, right? Anyone who's been watching this stream for a long time knows I like to play Mario World. It's a game for the Super Nintendo. What year did that come out? Like 93, something like that, maybe even earlier. Anyways, I'm showing my friends Mario games for the Super Nintendo. They're all as old as me, or they're older. We had Matt over here last week. He's 40 years old. Was hanging out with a couple of buddies, right? Elliot was here. We're all just playing Super Nintendo. I'm showing them the different games, Double Dragon. And then I bring up Mario Kart. And kind of an offensive question. They said, wait a minute. Mario Kart is for Super Nintendo? And I go, what? Wait a minute, what? You're older than me? I guess I forget that not everyone grew up as a child playing video games. I played a lot of video games. Not only in this neighborhood when I lived here, but when I lived over there, every neighborhood I had one or two little kid friends in the neighborhood. So you go over to their house, play Super Nintendo, they come over to your house. It's mostly gonna be Mortal Kombat, Killer Instinct, or some type of racing game. That's kind of the only thing that existed back then. There was no first-person shooters. So if you wanted to play a 2-player game, either it was a dumbass puzzle game or it was chess. No one's gonna fucking play that game. Or it was more likely gonna be Mortal Kombat, something like that. And so it surprised me that these guys had never seen Mario Kart. And having to walk people through the game of Mario Kart, I think was disappointing and hilarious. Because I had to explain all the items. I had to explain how the red shell works. And in my mind, I was thinking, well, maybe you're not. Maybe you're not a fan of retro games from the 90s, right? Super Nintendo was a long time ago. Perhaps you've played, I don't know, Mario Kart on Nintendo 64, or the Nintendo Wii, or the Wii U, or the Switch, or whatever the fuck, or like all the other things it could have came out on. And they're like, so what's the green shell do? And I'm like, motherfucker, it's a green shell. What do you fucking think it does? And they're like, I don't know. I'm like, hey, okay, the green shell goes forward. Okay, well, what does banana do? Okay, banana goes behind you or you can throw it in front of you. What does the red shell do? The red shell shoots somebody in front of you. What does the star do? Well, it makes you invincible, makes you go fast. When do I use the mushroom? I say use it on a straightaway. And it was disappointing and entertaining to watch people have no fucking idea. Just have no idea what they're doing when playing Mario Kart. And then I switched over to some other games. And I think, honestly, I could play Mario Kart with my friends for like an hour. You know, if we're racing, we're doing the Grand Prix, or then we switch to battle mode. I could really sit there, sitting on the ground like I did when I was a child, my back aching. And I think I could play Mario Kart and have fun and be like, oh, I got you, man. Oh, I win. Bro, I feel like people, if they didn't already go through it and there's no nostalgia, they're not going to want to play it. They're going to be like, got anything else? Got anything with guns or blood in it? And I'm like, dude, it was Super Nintendo. No, most games were marketed to children. No, there's no Call of Duty where I can be Jack Black and I can get my dick sucked while I fucking dome somebody in the head with a Desert Eagle. No, I don't have, they didn't make that for Super Nintendo. So Mario Kart was definitely fun. That was actually, all of these things happened on the same day. The same day that, the same day that Tex decided to break my belongings that I paid for. I lie. You know what? Does this make it better or worse? I didn't pay for this. It was a gift from my friend Nick. Nick got me a gift for my birthday, and Tex woke up one day and said, fuck your birthday, I'm breaking this. Anyways, this is funny because Tex listens to the podcast, so I know he's either laughing or he's like, what the fuck, dude? Fuck you. By the time this podcast comes out, I will have bought my replacement axle. Anyways, Super Nintendo, a lot of fun, man. A lot of fun. Let's go Donald Trump on him. It's Super Nintendo. It's fantastic. It's a lot of fun. So, it was just disappointing that maybe my friends didn't have the Mario Kart childhood, or maybe it's disappointing for me. Maybe they think that I am lame. Like, oh, this guy knows what all the items do. Like, yeah, I owned the game. I played this fucking game for I must have played this game for 10,000 hours. I used to be a sniper with the green shell. I used to be able to bounce that fucker 3 times. I could say, I could play like pool. I was say, pick a turn. I'll shoot the shell right now. It'll make contact with you in 48 seconds. So, really enjoyed that. Goof Troop game was a SNES game that was good for co-op. I'll have to try that out next time I play. You know, it's funny. When I'm playing my ROMs, so I play on emulator, which is, I don't have to physically have the game. I know a lot of you guys don't follow like video game technology or whatever. I can play all these Super Nintendo games on the computer. And I have a computer in my living room that's connected to my TV so that we can illegally stream UFC fights, and I can watch ESPN for hockey because I don't currently have cable. So I have everything set up in there to where I can also play games with my friends. Although the computer's too slow to play a real game, it can only play games from before like 1996. Anyways, I've been looking for new games to try to play, so maybe we'll check that one out in the future. But yeah, not a lot of good co-op games for the old Super Nintendo. Anyways, people are always like, oh, you have Mario Kart? Like, what other games do you have? And I always kind of feel like a pretentious douchebag when I'm like, what other games do I have? I have every game ever made. And they're like, okay, dude, like, you're bragging? And I'm like, not only do I have every game ever made, I have modifications of those games. Let's say there's only 500 games ever made. I probably have 900 on my computer right there. And they're like, okay, dude, we get it, you're bragging. And I'm like, I'm not bragging. These games are 4 megabytes. Like, I wasn't bragging. It's, first off, you can't just get one. You can't just get one Super Nintendo game if you're emulating it on the computer. You can't just get one. And I'm not saying you can't because of like it makes you want to keep downloading. No, you can only download all of them. You can't pick one and be like, oh, I simply want to play Mario Kart. I believe I will download one ROM file, please. No, you have to download 951. And they all come together. The whole file is about it's about the size of how much space a selfie would take on your cell phone. Every time you take a selfie, that's 951 SNES games worth of data. So I could text my friend and I could put every game in the text. Anyways, I have every game. Come over and play these fucking games because my friends are unfamiliar with the joys of Super Nintendo. What else has been going on? Well, 2 years ago, I bought a doormat for my front door, and it says welcome. And then above welcome, it has the silhouette of AR-15. And the idea there is, hey, if anyone was thinking of maybe trying to break into my house, don't do it. I'm a gun advocate. And people use that doormat to wipe their feet when it's rainy or muddy, and you stomp your feet out before you walk into my house so you don't track mud into the house or anything like that, even though the house is already dirty. Anyways, classic, very, very functional welcome mat, right? The welcoming mat pad. It does everything it needs to do. Lets you know, don't rob me. Also, welcome to my friends. Also, if I don't know you that well, hey, now we're going to talk about guns. You know, when somebody's like, hey, my brother's in town. Can he come watch UFC? Oh, yeah, bring your brother. The brother looks down and he goes, oh, guns. He's like, oh, so you like guns? And then we get to have a little ice-breaking moment, make a new friend because of my welcome mat. How perfect is that situation? Well, after a while, the welcome mat, so many people walked on it that it got worn out. It took 2 years. Pretty good welcome mat. So I looked on Amazon to get another welcome mat that would be similar or even the same one. Something that simply says, I have guns, but I'm nice. Welcome. So I type in rifle doormat. I type in gun doormat. I type in Second Amendment doormat. I typed in just every combination of doormat and gun. I put don't tread on me doormat. And I looked on Amazon, bro. Every Amazon doormat that has to do with guns was surely created by someone who's never seen a gun. The shit they were writing down on these doormats were so ridiculous. It would have a picture of a gun that doesn't exist, or like a gun that no one would ever use, and it would be like, go ahead, make sure you talk to Jesus before coming in this house, because I'm gonna send you to heaven. And you're like, what the fuck is it? Who wants to read that shit on a doormat? Who wants to read all that bullshit? First off, way too many words. Second off, now my doormat's religious. So now not only do I have a religious doormat, a gun doormat, and a doormat with too many words. So you think about part of it's gonna wear out. So later it's only gonna say half of those words. And dude, one of the biggest themes I saw, several doormats said, "This house smells like gunpowder and freedom." Why? 60 people bought that one. 60 people bought, my house smells like gunpowder and freedom? What the fuck kind of stupid? What the fuck does that even mean? Oh, they were so stupid. So eventually I got one that says welcome, and then it just has like a small gun, middle gun, medium gun, bigger gun. All of them are animated terribly. They don't even barely look like guns. And Keith said, why don't you just get a blank one and try to paint it? Oh, Keith, I got a picture for you after the podcast. I'll send it to the Discord. My first thought was, okay, the gun is a little bit faded and you can't really read the word welcome anymore. Well, I could just spray paint the word welcome. You know, I can just trace over the letters with my finger, and then I could try to print out a stencil from paper and put my own AR-15 there. So if AI if AI had Down syndrome, that's what my stencil ended up looking like. And it's currently right in front of my house. So now it just looks like an autistic kid has guns in this home. Someone in this home has autism and guns, and it's far more dangerous looking than it did when it was just nicely printed on their welcome. Because now it looks like someone left-handedly drew what they think a gun might look like. And I'll show you guys the picture. The gun that is currently in front of my house on my doormat is not a gun that exists in reality. It is a space gun from Call of Duty. So it's not looking good. So that's why I wanted to quickly get on Amazon and order a new one. So I did. I ordered one that says dog bites, owner shoots. I know, so it's super corny. Dog bites, owner shoots. Yeah, I know. Listen, if that's the best I could get, can you imagine how much worse the other ones were? So anyways, I get the new doormat. It was half the price of my last one. Also, I could have got the same doormat that I got before, but it was $32. I'm not paying $32 for something that people step on, right? Unless it was like shoes, I guess. Is that a good something to compare it to? Anyways, I'm not paying that much money. The one I got was for $15, and I bought another one that I got to return now. I got to return it to Whole Foods. That's my Amazon. That's where I return Amazons to. They have a little booth inside the Whole Foods. If you guys don't have Whole Foods, it's like health food. It's like a grocery store for health food, healthy foods. Anyways, yeah, I got one. It's as thin as a mouse pad. It's tiny. I have a mouse pad that's bigger than this doormat. The one that says dog bites, owner shoots. Also, it was just really poorly made. The bottom of the print like cuts off part of the word. I don't know why they would try to sell that. Definitely getting my money back for that fucking garbage. The good thing though about returning things to Whole Foods is that I can go look at their exquisite, fancy, rare imported cheeses. They have a whole section of Whole Foods. And you would think, oh, you're going to get a 24-month aged Parmigiano Reggiano and some type of foreign aged cheddar cheese. Sounds like that would be expensive. Oh, it would be expensive. Except there's one area in Whole Foods. It's like the bargain bin of cheese. So every cheese in this one bucket, every cheese is fancy, but every cheese is less than $3. So I go in there. Every time I return something to Amazon, I go in that bitch with $12. And I get 4 different exotic cheeses to try. And couple of things. Some cheese is gross. I don't know what people are using it for. I don't know how Whole Foods can even afford to stock these cheeses, because there's no way people are buying these cheeses that taste like shit. Because I don't know, number one, what's the application? Number two, who is that big of a fan of cheese? And number three, this is just the bargain bin. There's also big-ass pieces of cheese over there. Somebody's buying a big-ass block of cheese this big for $90, and it tastes like dog shit. And I wonder who those people are and why they're doing it. I love to try out new foods. Speaking of trying out new foods, maybe the biggest failure in my cooking career ever happened earlier this week on a Tuesday. I've been saying for weeks now, I want to make a whole fish. I want to score the side of a fish, stuff the fish with herbs and citrus, and bake the fish, maybe in some sort of like tomato sauce. There's a lot of different ways to do it, or I can make some type of creamy sauce next to it. I just wanted to bake a whole fish. So I looked up, you can do it with like red snapper, but then when I went to the store to get the whole fish, the whole snapper was like over $30 for one fish, and it would have been too much meat. So then on the computer it said I could buy a sea bass. I said, oh damn, a bass. Okay, cool. I went in there, they were out. They didn't have them. So my choices were tilapia or catfish. And I've been told tilapia are very dirty fish. And catfish, the only thing I knew about catfish, the only thing I had ever known about catfish is that I've only seen them served in restaurants when they're fried. Like deep fried, cornmeal breaded, crunchy, thin catfish fillets with no skin. That's the only way I've ever seen a catfish prepared in like a public setting. So I went on YouTube and I said, can you bake catfish? I went on Google, can you bake catfish? And it was one of those situations where there weren't any good results. There were people that did it, but there weren't any celebrity chefs that had prepared it in this way. It was everyone who was baking catfish kind of didn't really look like they knew what they were doing. And that should have been a red flag. Anyways, they give me the catfish, right? I get the whole catfish. They pre-chopped it. They chopped the back of its neck. They chopped him straight through the middle. They broke his spine, chopped him in multiple places, which then, I didn't know this at the time, they made it a million times harder for me to even fillet it if I wanted to. But I didn't want to fillet it, my friends. I wanted to bake this fish, stuff it with herbs, and bake it. And then at the end, it would be cool and flaky and buttery. No, bro. This fucking thing smelled like shit. This thing looked like shit. The skin didn't crisp up the way that another fish, like salmon skin, will crisp up even when you bake it or if you sear it. This thing was just gross. It stank. It pushed out a bunch of fish water out of it. Oh, God, it was so nasty. So the baked one, I tried it. It was awful. Then I just fried a small piece. It was awful. Then I took the already cooked baked version, dried it off, and tried to fry that. That was awful. Then I covered it in spices. That was awful. Then I covered it in lemon and butter. That was awful. Then I combined all techniques together, and it was awful. I probably had a combined 7 bites of this thing, small, tiny bites, and it always tasted awful. Now, I'm sure those of you who regularly prepare this fish, you guys already are laughing or you're disappointed at me because you're going to say, why didn't you just fucking fillet it into little medallions or little mini fillets and fry it and bread it? Well, it's because my priority was baking a whole fish. My priority wasn't going to be to make a good fish dish. So that being my priority, and then all I had the option to cook with was catfish, left me with only one option, and it was terrible. Anyways, I boiled the fish's neck and head, and I took out the bones, and I gave that to my dog, and my dog liked it. So it wasn't a complete loss, but it was surely the biggest failure I've had in cooking. You guys know, if you were here for the first podcast of the year, we talk about New Year's resolutions. And one of my New Year's resolutions is to cook for my friends more often, or also just to get outside of my comfort zone with cooking. I think just only a few months ago, I made my first ever tortilla. So I made like a burrito completely from scratch. So that was, I mean, not completely from scratch. I didn't make the cheese out of the milk, but I'm breaking down cooking into like a really like lower level, and I'm having fun. But it's never fun to fail. Failing, I'm gonna be honest with you guys, this is gonna sound dramatic. Failing this fish bullshit, you know, obviously I missed a lot of steps, and I was working with something I'd never worked with before, and I didn't follow like the recipes, and I should have done a little more research. I know all that's true. But failing that meal kind of felt like if I go out skateboarding and I really want to land a trick and I try it really hard and then I run out of gas, or like, you know, my leg gets injured or something. That's what it felt like. It felt like I honestly, it felt like I set a goal and immediately failed it. But I'm not giving up yet. A couple things. Number one, I'm never going to eat catfish ever again for the rest of my life. The fish disrespected me. Okay. Also, first time ever ripping gills out of an animal, ripping the gills out. No one told me the gills were spiky. I've watched a million cooking videos of them filleting fish. No one was ever like, grab the gills. Don't worry, they're going to be sharp and spiky. First off, to be honest with you guys, I don't really know what a gill is. Like, I know where it is located. It's inside that slit on the side of the fish's like neck, but I don't know what a gill is. What does it do? It's involved in breathing, sure. What does it do? Does it wiggle? Does it expand? I don't know. Why do I have to take them out? Well, probably because they're spiky. Also, yeah, when I got the fish on the inside of the fish, a bunch of black shit. Bunch of fish. The fish pooped, I guess, right as he died. Pooped his pants, which then went into the inside of his belly. Also, I learned what it means to de-slime a fish. Like it's Ghostbusters or something. Ugh. So, yeah. No fish for me for a while. Or, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to eat salmon every week. I'm going to go back to salmon, back to what I know, back to my roots. Eat salmon, only eat salmon, and eventually I'll forget how bad the catfish was. Eventually. So that was a real mess. Anyways, that's all I have to talk to you guys about as far as my experiences, but I did watch a bunch of movies this week, but before we do that, who wants to win a free pack of Ninja Lifestyle stickers if you live in America? All you have to do is answer this skateboarding related question. First one to answer this skateboarding related question first wins a sticker pack sent directly to your home. The question is, what do these letters actually stand for? SSBSTS. SSBSTS. Popularized in some ways by pro skater Bam Margera, who is weirdly making a comeback into core skateboarding lore. He's been hanging out with the Dern brothers, which I never envisioned a world where the Dern brothers were more popular than Bam Margera, but right now they fucking kind of are. And Bam is hanging out with them, so it's like this power couple of used to be really good skater, currently really good skater, kind of like burnt out guy that's just hyped to yell about anything. You know, he just walks up and he's like the star of the show. Well, get a look at this. Get a look at this handrail. Get a look at this, man. I bet I could SSBSTS this back when I was beating my dad's ass, right? Haha, I could do a SSBSTS. I noticed in the chat room, not a single person even tried to answer the question. So you know what? We're going to forward this. This question is now being forwarded to YouTube. No one on Twitch who's here live can win anymore. When this eventually gets uploaded to YouTube, let me know in a YouTube comment what the exact meaning of SSBSTS stands for. And then I'll reach out to you. And then I'll get the sticker pack to you eventually. Now, what movies did I watch this week? Well, I watched the movie with Bane, the Batman guy. Oh, I was born into it. That movie sucks. If you're not like 8 years old, that movie fucking sucks. There's so many like lapses in time. You can't really tell like how much time. Okay, basic. Maybe they explain this, but there's a lot of things. Like how everyone knows each other is kind of weird. How long was Batman? You know how long it takes a back injury to heal? How long was he locked up in the fucking cave? Like how is Batman so bad at fighting? Also, can we acknowledge why the dumb voice? I get it. You could talk like this. You could just lower your voice and sound more intimidating. But he honestly sounds like a really special kid. Where is he? Where is he? Huh? What? Like, that's not good act. I feel like there's sometimes where his mouth actually goes sideways. Batman will say something and then he goes, and I guess a kid would think that was cool. The Bane character, very cool. But there's just so... Watching that movie after smoking some weed, it didn't help at all. It just made everything fall apart Easier. Okay. I watched an animated movie called Home. It's about some aliens that are made out of like liquid or something. The aliens come to Earth, they gather up all the humans, and they put the humans in another part of Earth, like a concentration camp kind of situation. Except where they moved all the humans to is actually a super happy place. Everything's happy. So the humans are all getting along with each other. You know, the aliens have like solved all the problems. But then the alien meets a little girl, and the little girl is mad at the alien, and then the alien is actually like, he's actually super clumsy, and all the aliens hate him. And then eventually I don't know, it's a kid's movie, okay? If you have kids, watch the movie Home. It's good. It's good for an animated movie. Like, it's no Toy Story, right? It's no How to Train Your Dragon, but yeah, for a movie about human farming, it's appropriate for kids. It's pretty good. I also watched Constantine. Now, I already knew Keanu Reeves was the worst actor ever. We all know that. We've all known that for years. We all knew that. So I don't know what I expected, but the movie was dumb. So avoid that. The movie was dumb. I also watched an NBA documentary called Untold Stories Shooting Guards. And basically, it was these two guys who didn't like each other, and they played for the NBA on the same team. And one day, they both brought a gun to practice, and they pulled a gun on each other. And that was it. No one got shot. No gun went off. They pulled a gun on each other. Then they calmed down. And then weeks went by, and then somehow TMZ found out, right? The internet found out and started saying, oh, the NBA allows people to bring guns to practice. So the NBA had to fire these guys, and it then changed the course of both of their lives. Kind of interesting. The theme of the whole documentary was one small mistake in the locker room was the butterfly effect that kind of threw their entire lives off balance. So if you like stories like that, stories of, hey, tighten up, don't make dumb decisions because they will haunt you down the road, it's a great documentary for that. Otherwise, basically, if you're in the NBA, don't be out committing felonies and don't bring guns to practice. It seems like they shouldn't have to write that down in your contract. But when you go to basketball practice and you're getting paid, $20 million a year, maybe don't bring guns to practice and maybe just enjoy all that money. Because you have it, man. There's no reason for you to be fucking up so bad with all that money. Imagine having money and problems. That's my thing. I say this all the time. You guys can quote me. There's very few problems in my life that money cannot solve. And we always hear, money can't buy happiness. Money doesn't solve everything. Maybe for you. For me, it can. It will. It does. It will. If I had a ton of money, everything would be solved. If I had a ton of money, I would not be bringing a gun to go bowling, right? But until that money arrives, stay out my fucking way. Stay out my way on the bowling lanes. Oh, I also watched a movie, classic movie called Rudy. Rudy is a football movie, I think from the 80s. I think it's of a time before that, but I think it came out in the 80s. I could be wrong. Very good movie, considering like the limited amount of like technology they had to make movies, and like actors and directors. Sometimes I think like, oh man, these old movies are gonna suck because they don't have access to like all the crazy CGI and all the crazy cranes. You can't do a movie in the 80s about a skydiving shootout, for example. But they did such a good job with this movie, Rudy. Every part of it. The only part that's a little whack is They reuse the same song too many times occasionally, which I think was one of my main complaints about the movie Scarface. It's like if a movie only has one soundtrack, they can only use that same song over and over and over again. The Rudy movie, other than that, I thought it was really good. Okay, it's a feel-good movie. I think it's even PG-13. And what I think it is, it's a movie about grinding. It's a movie about never giving up. You don't have to be a big fan of football to like this movie. And if you've never seen it, I would recommend you watch it. For me, the movie is 9.5 out of 10. When do I ever give movies a high rating? Skateboarding videos, I give people 10 out of 10 all week. Skateboarding it's really easy to make a good skateboarding video. It's damn near impossible to make a really good movie. So, yeah. I recommend, if no one has seen the movie Rudy, it's on Netflix. Go watch it. You will not be disappointed. I guarantee it. Anyways, can I get a, oh, hell yeah, from everyone in the chat? Because that's all I got for today's podcast. If you want to watch the replay of today's podcast, it comes out on YouTube, Spotify, Podbean, iTunes, anywhere where podcasts can be found. You can find Stop Crying Poser, and this episode comes out on Sunday, early in the morning. I appreciate the subscribes and donations. Fletcher donated 200 bits. iBookBoy resubscribed for his 50th month in a row. 50. Long-time subscriber and supporter. Thank you, iBookBoy. And thank you to Keith Skates for the 500 bits. Keith, iBook, and Fletcher, you guys just bought me, probably 3 beers. So the first 3 beers I drink tonight are going to be on you guys. So I appreciate that. Shout out to D-Trick, Back Salad, iBookBoy, D-Trick, Cam 702, iBookBoy, We Are Sad, D-Trick, Day, Cam 702. The Las Vegas Golden Knights are down 0-2 in the series to try to get to the Western Conference. We're not doing good. It's not looking good, and the next 2 games are on the road. So send your thoughts and prayers, Internet. Anyways, I will continue this stream, but as for the podcast, that's all I got. So as I always say, don't drink too much and don't drink too little. Well, good thing I brought my yo-yo so I can break yours and still have something to play with.